Daniel Basamulekere Butagali Mukasa Mwanga II was the 31st king of Buganda. He ascended to the throne after the death of his father Mutesa I in 1884. Mwanga's palace was on Mengo Hill. As a young and ambitious king, Mwanga sought to keep the throne longer than his father had done, and therefore he was keen to eliminate any rivals and enemies who stood in the way of his grand plan. The king's instincts directed him to the white visitors, especially the missionaries who his father Mutesa I had invited and given unlimited freedom to preach the gospel across Buganda Kingdom. Bishop James Hannington, who was killed in Busoga on his way to Buganda, was probably murdered in fulfillment of this unstated project by Kabaka Mwanga. However, misfortune also seemed to have dogged Mwanga. His palace in Mengo was burnt to ashes and he shifted to Munyonyo. While in Munyonyo, one day he went hunting at Bulingugwe Island on Lake Victoria, but he didn't kill any animal.
Actually, on his way back, he also lost his very precious gun. It fell into the lake. Then Kabaka came, he was very furious.
And then the fortune teller poisoned him, his mind, told him that, you know what, King Mwanga, your father, King Mutesa, made a very grave mistake of inviting these missionaries to your kingdom, because ever since they came, misfortunes have been befalling your kingdom.
Joseph Kasozi, who has the history of this place on his fingertips, explains that Mwanga vented his anger on one of the staunch Christians whose faith he didn't like. That is how Dennis Sebugwao was killed, and he became the first Uganda martyr. The next day, on 25th May 1886, Mwanga reigned all his pages in a court for judgment.
So he put them to test and asked them to decide whether to go for the new faith or to follow him.
Ben Andibuza, who works with the tourism department of Munyonyo Martyrs Shrine, narrates what happened next.
Charles Ranga, who was the eldest, held the hand of Chistomto, who was the youngest, and went to the left, because the king had told them that those who are willing to continue with Christianity, you go to the left, and those who say you want to be Christians forever, go to the right. So since it was evening time, the king shortly imprisoned them here on this very land, and the following day they started the journey to Namugongo.
Shortly after the Christians began the journey to Namugongo, Ponsia Nongonde got tired at Chamla and asked to be killed there.
For him, he told them that even if I go to Namugongo, or even if I'm killed from here, I've already decided to do what? To die for my God, so I'm ready to die for my God. Please kill me from here.
Kabaka Mwanga had spared Andrew Kagwa, his bandmaster, but his Katikiro or Prime Minister Mukasa planned his killing later that evening.
On that day when these people were judged, Andrew Kagwa was not in the palace, but the king had the rights and powers to tell his men to go call him Andrew Kagwa, but he never wanted to. After the canonization of the martyrs, Andrew Kagwa's remains were buried below this little chapel in Munyonyo. Andrew Kagwa is the patron saint of catechists, teachers and families, while Dennis Sebugwao is the patron saint of musicians. Ponsia Nongondwe intercedes for soldiers and police officers. Because of the significance of Munyonyo, the Catholic Church has plans to develop the shrine into a world-class site.
We're going to construct there an amphitheater so that people can come and pray from here. We're also going to build, we're putting in place a chapel for the Divine Mercy.
This bridge on Entebbe Express Highway adjacent to the shrine was named after Andrew Kagwa. Solomon Kawesa, NTV.